Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We are at 11031 Southwest Brown Street here in Tualatin, doing a sewer scope, checking the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. So right now, I'm having some issues with my foot counter on my camera. So we're right now advanced all the way out to the main lateral. As you can see here, my foot counter wasn't working, so I restarted my system so we can get a foot count on this. In fact, while this thing continues to drain here, my camera is in almost a dead vertical drop right now. I'm going to pull the camera to the top of this drop here so I can locate it properly while the rest of the line drains off. And then we'll go over some things here as we come back in. Alright, located the camera head successfully. So you've got two sets of, if you go stand out on the road, you'll see, if you look down the road, you'll see two different manholes. One's, closer to this side of the road, the other one's on the far side of the road. The line terminates about, 10 feet or so off the curb. The line that's closer to this side of the street. And the line here essentially runs dead straight. From this clean out to the main lateral, you're running in a straight line essentially. Right on out to the road. Anyway, we'll try and get a foot count here as we pull back in. I'm guessing that thing was probably around 75 feet long. We'll see here. So we do have some standing water in the ABS portion of the line. It's throughout the ABS. You've got two kind of back-to-back bellies at the start of the line, and you've got one towards the end. So anyway, this is the transition here from 3-inch ABS to 4-inch PVC. Teeny little, this is not even going on on my report. It's so minor. This is not the kind of standing water I'm looking for, even talking about right now. You've got maybe a 1/16 of an inch of standing water there for about 1.5 feet of pipe. If you're blocking and backing up in a belly that tiny, you're putting some crazy stuff down your sewer pipe. Right now my camera is upside down. I apologize. I just picked the system back up here and I don't have my auto leveling camera hooked up on it right now. You see on the advance out, we ran into some standing water towards the end of the ABS. What I might have been doing though, unbeknownst to me, was pushing some toilet paper in front of the camera up ahead. Now we're getting close enough in here. I'm going to pull the camera back to the clean out and re-zero. That way we're not looking at things in the negatives, which is kind of awkward to go off of. That was a pretty good guess, 73 feet. All right, so this one here, it starts almost immediately upon access. You're about 1 foot into the line here. Really got two bellies back to back. I'm going to write this up. If you were to ever fix this, you wouldn't do it in parts and pieces. You'd do it as one continuous repair. The water line, that one's not quite hitting 1 inch of standing water. It's somewhere between 1/2 and 3/4 at its worst point. Right in the depth of it, you're probably hitting around 3/4 of an inch at its worst point. And then right back into another one here. As I go throughout this, you're going to see me do some quick pullbacks. That's one of the ways I measure standing water. When you've got this belly here at its worst point, you're working with about 1 inch of standing water. When I pull the camera back, the water line sucks down below the camera lens very quickly and easily. So these are the kind of bellies here. Typically speaking, this is not one I would generally recommend a repair on. You certainly have some standing water at the start of the line. There's a little bit of grease buildup on the sidewalls. I'll recommend some cleaning on it. You do have some grease on the sidewalls of the pipe there. They're not ultra significant, but you know, when changing hands, I feel like it's a decent compromise. You know, get this thing back down to base. It's a combination of some grease and also some paper products. It's not all grease. And in the world of buildup, this is a relatively minor scenario. That's my 2 cents on it. The bellies are not significant enough, in my opinion, to warrant repairing them. That's not to say that they couldn't theoretically lead to an issue. These are the kind of, I've been doing this for 13 years, and you know, my experience with bellies like this, especially in plastic pipe that's smooth pipe walls, debris does not grab hold of it terribly easily. Generally speaking, bellies of this size right here cause problems when the line gets abused. You know, either when you're putting improper things like paper towels, wipes, flushable wipes. I include flushable wipes in the improper category. They're slightly less terrible than paper towels are. They have no business going down your sewer line. So, you know, it's stuff like that. Balled up toilet paper, cooking oil, tampons, things like that end up getting hung up in the belly, and then they don't disintegrate on their own. What you have right there, that little ridge that's poking into the line, and right now my camera is almost completely upside down. What you have there is the remnants of a knockout plate. If you get someone out here with a jetter, in fact, this may require more of an auger to accomplish it because it's more of an abrasive. It's an actual tool that's spinning, whacking into the pipe. You do have the remnants of a knockout plate going backwards there in the line. That's right as you get through the foundation wall. It's quite small. If you pull back here and get a nice gander at, we're in 3-inch pipe right there. It's probably about a 1/4 inch. And where that's positioned, keep in mind right now, my camera is upside down. That knockout plate is actually sitting more so in the upper top of the pipe right now. You can see where the water's flowing at the top of the screen. So that item right there really is not at risk of catching anything unless it's an item that is very large. It's already going to basically be near blocking the sewer line. So not of huge concern. But if you're out here getting the line cleaned, I think it would be a half-decent idea to take a whack at it with an auger to see if you can peel off the rest of it. Those things are designed to be broken out of the way, and when they busted it out, they just didn't get all of it. It's a thin piece of plastic that's put in place when the house is being roughed in until you put an actual clean-out cap on something and or before you've attached it to the rest of the sewer line. They do that to prevent construction debris from getting into the line. And then once you're all done with that, it's as simple as you can usually remove them with your hand. You can just bust them out with your hand and remove them from the line. So it's not something that I think warrants going to the effort of actually repairing the sewer line, cutting pipe out. There's zero buildup on it. I wouldn't expect to see much. Anything that could run into that item, that little piece of plastic right there, would have to be about 2 3/4 inches tall. It would be an item that would just about be blocking the sewer line as it is. So that's what I mean. It's something that could contribute to a blockage if you're already putting a lot of stuff down the line, and that's just kind of the finishing thing that really catches it. So what I'm going to recommend here is cleaning on the sewer line, a rescope to show the line was clean, and I would, if you can, try and run an auger. A jetter might do it too, but some item back in there just to see if you can trim that piece of plastic out and remove it. You know, the only thing that concerns me is if you get that piece of plastic partially peeled off of there and it gets kind of cattywampus in the line, you know, if it's stubborn to remove, that's the only situation where I could foresee a repair being necessary. But usually if you can get one piece of it busted off, the rest of it tears off pretty easy. It's very, very thin. It's like 32nd to 16th of an inch thin plastic. Otherwise, the bellies there from 1 to 16 feet, you've got 2 back-to-back. Depending on the part of the belly that you're in, you're ranging from 1/4 to 1 inch of standing water. In my opinion, not significant enough to go tearing all the brickwork out here and redoing the sewer line. I do recommend cleaning to get some of the debris buildup out of the line there, but those bellies there are the kind that if you're abusing the line, that's about the time where stuff will start hanging up in them. Regular old folded toilet paper, stuff like that will shoot through there with very little issue. The buildup that's on the sidewalls is mostly related to grease and debris. It's not the kind of buildup that indicates past blockages. When grease goes down the line and or, potentially wipes, things like that, they float to the top of the water and stick to the sidewalls. Going to that area, though, where there's nothing big, scary hanging from the top of the pipe that would indicate even a blockage that broke loose naturally occurred in the past. Nothing's going on there in that manner. So, as it sits right now, we have adequate flow to the main lateral. Flow will be improved once you get some of that grease buildup out of there, but as it sits right now, the grease is thin enough. It's really not doing a whole lot to cause problems. Again, it's like the knockout plate. It might contribute to a blockage if you've already got some large mass going down the line. It just creates for stickier conditions for some of that stuff to get hung up.